Astrobot has released, and critics and others have been having the time of their life with this game, saying that it made it feel like it was gaming again, saying that Astrobot was a breath of fresh air, and there was a little bit of nostalgia to that because people loved the way it played, and many people will compare it to things like Mario Odyssey, Mario Galaxy. Me included, that this was a game that was very fun, and a lot of people think that this might be a game of the year. But with games like Concord, the same week, shutting down because of lack of interest and people feeling that Sony just doesn't have the right vision when it comes to what gamers want, and also with the announcement of this PlayStation Pro, and a lot of people feeling a way about that as well. A lot of people feel that there aren't enough games to justify buying another PlayStation Pro for, or even thinking that right now PlayStation just has no games because of the lack of first party efforts. But how do we change that? What type of games will we want to see? What's good, everybody? It's Blue Satire, and today I want to do a video about some PlayStation games that I would like to see on the PlayStation from their catalog. See, Astrobot came out, and one of the best things about that game was finding the VIP trophies. And the VIP trophies made a lot of people happy, including me, seeing games and seeing figurines and characters of people that we haven't seen in a while, or even some popular characters that are out right now. And then you play this game and you see, dang, PlayStation 1, PS2, PS3, PS4 has some legendary games on it. Maybe all of them haven't been published by Sony, or all of them haven't been first party games, but PlayStation did have a legacy for making some dope games and dope experiences that were different. So I want to get into some games I would like to see. And first, let me talk about the elephant in the room. Why don't we see a lot more original games like Astrobot, the games that we liked back in the day? And I think it kind of leads to the fact that we don't really buy these games anymore. You see discussions all the time, $70 for this, $60 for that, it's not $50, it's not worth this. A lot of the games that we liked as a kid did not sell well. A lot of cult classics that we liked did not sell well. So a company's probably looking at it like, nobody's gonna buy this, so we're not gonna make this. But if that wasn't the case, Sony didn't care and they say, hey, let's shoot the ball, what games would I like to see? But also, what games would you like to see if Sony went back into its catalog? What franchises would you like to see on the PlayStation in the future from games that they may have neglected? Let me know in the comment section. Let's get into it. Now, this first game I want to talk about is one that I saw when I was playing Astrobot. Ape Escape was one of those games that was very fun, and believe it or not, Ape Escape had a nice little run of games almost every year. From 1999 to 2010 or 2012, which makes me wonder, why did Sony stop supporting this game? Because it's different. I like Ape Escape. Ape Escape was a game where the first thing you had to do was there was this one monkey that tamed a helmet that boosted his intelligence, and he wanted to take over the world, and it was up to you with your friends to use all the gadgets you had in your possession to capture these monkeys, and that is nuts how loud, to capture these apes and save the world, you know. But also, I remember this game when I had the PlayStation demo disc and I didn't have a DualShock controller yet. This was the first game that really made you use that DualShock controller, and I couldn't play the game because you had to move with the L stick and the right stick. All you can do was jump with the buttons, the back buttons. The D-pad cannot be used for that. I think in a time where people are asking for new type of games, I think Ape Escape is one of those games that would be very fun. I know a lot of people went back and played it again because they saw it in this. And Ape Escape is one of those games that has a lot of alternate series, a lot of mini games and things like this. This is a series that could have some staying power, especially if you want to have more family oriented or more games to give you more variety than that over the shoulder, behind the back view game action cinematic thing. Ape Escape is one I would definitely love to see. Now, I might not talk about every game as much as I did with that one, but here's another game that a lot of people love. And a lot of people will tell you that the studio everyone is very sad about that closed down, that made a lot of bangers, was the Sony Japan studio. And this game, Gravity Rush, was a dope and different game that I got to play on the Vita. And Gravity Rush had a sequel. And in this game, you take the role of a young woman who can manipulate gravity and affects how she walks on walls, flies in the air, and navigates the open world. It's another one of those games that is different, but also if folks were liking the platforming and the adventure that was in Astrobot, I think Gravity Rush would definitely have a benefit in today's time, because it's also an action adventure game. It's not just platforming, but using the gravity to manipulate your surroundings. And the game evolved with its sequel Like it's a different type of action RPG, and it's a good story, good music, and good visuals. And this is a game I would like to see. It sucks that we don't see it again this day and age, but Gravity Rush was well received, but it did not sell as much as the things that people do this year would want to see in today's game. And everybody's disappointed by $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. Well, games like this sold like 100,000, 25K, you know, stuff like that. So Gravity Rush really was a dope game and a dope experience, and I think it would benefit being on a PlayStation system in today's time to add variety to the system. Now let me throw a slice of life, let me throw a cozy chill game on here. One that I might have talked about before, one that I've do a shorter video on, is My Summer Vacation, which in Japan was called Boku no Natsuyasumi. And in that game, you play the role as a kid who goes around on this summer vacation. You got 30 days. It's a slice of life video game. And if you ever played the Shin-Chan games that came out recently, they are actually spiritual successors to that game. A new one is coming out, but I would like to see the original series get some more love, because most of those games only came out in Japan. And the way it looked, even on PlayStation PS2, it was a very visually stunning game. You played as a kid enjoying life, going fishing, bug catching, going exploring, drawing, doing things like that, bug fighting. Being a kid in the summers in like the 50s or 60s or something like that, it was a while back. Again, variety. PlayStation used to have a lot of variety, and they leave that up to PC and Nintendo and indie games. You have games that put you in a different place and get you a different audience. But I know that money is the issue again here, y'all, because this is a game that it has a specific and very niche audience, but it's a great game. And My Summer Vacation would be nice in today's graphics, today's times, with a different audience. I think this is a dope game, and it's one that I enjoy with the Shin-Chan model. I want to play more games like that from the original inspiration, the original vision. My Summer Vacation is one that I think people should look into, but also PlayStation should think about bringing to future consoles. Nah, this one ain't necessarily made by Sony. This is actually a Capcom game. My Capcom OGs, my PS2 OGs know about the Onimusha series. This game is pretty much Samurai Resident Evil. And you're in the Sengoku period, and every protagonist usually is a skilled swordsman who got some abilities, and it's like action-oriented combat with some horror elements. You got so many weapons like katanas, elemental broadswords, and it's a lot of things that go into spiritual energy, so you can have magical attacks. Like, the plot was good, the story was good, the music was good, the action was good. It was different. But I know that there was talks that the next Onimusha wasn't made because there was a remaster of Onimusha Warlords in 2018 that did not do well, and they didn't make new ones because they didn't think it would sell. And again, that's the problem with a lot of these cult classics that we like. They don't sell well and we don't get them. But I think Capcom should take a chance with this one, especially since they're doing so well with games like Monster Hunter and all these other games, these classics. This at least give us a Onimusha collection to see and gauge people's interest. But I know that I said it's a PlayStation list, but Onimusha was very prevalent on the PlayStation back in the day. And they was eating from like 2001 to like 2006. They did not miss a year of making the game. Onimusha slept on, and I think that's definitely a one that I want to see on PlayStation consoles and other consoles as well. Now let's go to one that I know a lot of people have been asking for. A lot of people that's still playing right now in the classic shop. Sly Cooper. It is absolutely criminal that Sly Cooper hasn't had a new game. I know it's probably because Sucker Punch are working on those bigger games. Sly Cooper was so cool back in the day. The way it looked, the graphics, I love cel shaded graphics. I know a lot of people was feeling away when Wind Waker came out for the first time in this cel shaded glory, but when Sly Cooper came out and showed the art style and the graphics and the way you play, fire. And if you haven't played before, it's a third-person game where you control Sly and his companions through many missions that's mostly relying on stealth to avoid encounters and alarms. So you're stealing, you're a thief. So it's a lot of stealth involved, and maybe a lot of people these days don't like stealth gameplay, but they did it right. Everybody had their own abilities, had a grappling hook. He was cool, and there was a lot of action as well. In the setting, the characters, the voice, all of it was cool. And I think when you look at platforming and things like this, you look at variety. Sly Cooper, I feel, would be a great game to play today. I don't know if people will want to see it. People say they do, but will their wallet show otherwise? But all in all, Sly Cooper is the one that folks definitely should be checking out because it's actually a dope series if you haven't played it, and I would love to see Sony bring that back. I got plenty of other games, but in order to make this video not as long as it already is, let's end it off with one more classic and platformer, Jak and Daxter. Another game that has no reason not having a new game in the series since what, 2009? Oh, we got a collection in 2012 and a bundle in 2017. But Jak and Daxter actually sold 15 million across all of his games. Jak 2, Jak 3, Jak and Daxter really was running the PS2 with the various games they had that were fun. If you've never played, it's an action adventure game. The games were story-based platformers pretty much. Yeah, action, racing, puzzle solving. In a science, fantasy, steampunk, cyberpunk type of world. The characters, the voice acting, they were cool characters, good personality. And it was fun. And if you're talking about platforming and nostalgia and everybody liking Astro, I just don't see how Jak and Daxter shouldn't be a game to make in these days and times. And maybe it's because of the way PlayStation is moving towards the hyper realistic graphics, behind the show cinematic things. But if you want to capitalize on things like Astro, I think Jak and Daxter is the game that really should be looked into being made again, because there was so much into it. It was fun. It reminds you of the old days, and I think that's what a lot of people are missing. If anything, games have showed me that came out recently is that nostalgia is a thing, and you either gonna play it and love it again, or play it like, dang, maybe I didn't like it that much. But Jak can be something big in today's time, and I think Jak and Daxter is definitely a game we should see again, and hopefully we do. Because do we really need Last of Us Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 remastered, Part 1 of the Part 2 of the P3 remastered every 2 years? No. You got other series to work on that we would love to play. But that's all for me. I just wanted to show y'all some games that I would want to see again, and that's not all of them at all. But I didn't want to make a 40, 50, 60 minute video. I wanted to give you a couple and then see if y'all were interested in me doing more. But also I want to hear what you got to say, because I might be using your comments in the video to talk about the games I want to see. So please, again, appreciate y'all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section, what games do you want to see Sony make, especially from the older days that we don't see anymore? And how do you feel about the future of Sony and the decisions they've been making? I appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all have a good one. Bye.